even, or wild card, it's going to lean very much in the other direction. So, I mean, the underdog here is Mythic. Can they do it? I mean, anything's possible. It's Counter-Strike, but likelihood is a lot lower, right, than Marsborne, of course, being the ones to take it. And that third map that we had that we didn't get a chance to talk about much is Overpass. But I mean, again, if we get there, it's going to be, honestly, I'm going to be pretty impressed if we get to that third map. And I'm not trying to throw any shade at Mythic, but it's just that's how good Marsborne have been as of late. As we're ready to jump into round number 1. Checking out these rosters: Wolfie, Sixy, Grizz, Viz, and Chop on the side of Marsborne. And for Mythic, we've got Flom, Heiza, Cooper, Ponalone, and Truck Lever. Let the pistol round begin. ECL Season 50 Cup number 4, as mentioned. Lower bracket, semi-final. Excuse me, should be lower bracket quarterfinal if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe, because, yeah, not me that's wrong, but I'm looking at Wikipedia and it's saying quarterfinals, but, you know, whatever. The next one is going to determine who will make it through to face off in, I believe, the grand. Anyway, look, it's a little crossed up in this bracket that I'm looking at right here. It doesn't matter. What does matter is the team that's going to advance here will have a chance to face off against the winner of Life's a Game and Boss. It's Lag and Boss that are going to be facing off tomorrow. Anyway, here comes the execute towards the B side. Viz takes a head off of Ponalone. Chop gets Flom. Bomb should be planted, but Chris just lining up the shots. Had way too much time for that one. And yeah, a clean sweep for Marsborne here in this opening pistol round, and it will be 1-0 in their favor. Would love to see Marsborne, you know, get a chance at the next major. I think that's obviously their target, having picked up Sixy formerly with Complexity. I think Sixy did really good work with Complexity, or, well, now Passion UA, but they didn't pick him up with Passion UA, which, again, surprising, because he's such a good player, and he's played every single role. He's been an opera, he's been an entry player, he's been support, and now he's IGL, right? So, I mean, he's got it all. He's the full package. Which is why it's ever the more surprising that Passion UA decided to move forward without him. But hey, you know, it happens. He's faced a lot of adversity throughout his career. And, you know, it's a testament to his resilience that he's still here. Viz, gonna hit that headshot, but Cooper, nice little wand dig onto Wolfie. That's something, not to mention Grizz down to 59 HP here. Viz. And Mini. Ooh, that spray's not great. Does manage to collect the frag on Flom regardless and does damage to the next. Chop will support him. And they got all the pieces in the right place. Yes, Ponalone managed to sneak through a frag, but it won't matter much. Chop gets the last, and it's 2-0 for Marsborne. In that upper bracket final, no surprise, I would say that it's Skin Rave Esports up against Team Voca. I mean, that's two top teams right now in North America. Although Skin Rave did get a forfeit win up against Life's a Game. I feel like that probably still would have gone Skin Rave's way if it gets played out. Bit of a slow start to this round, though. Mythic taking their time on their approach. 3 players in lobby, 1 outside. Make that 4 players in lobby, and 2 leaning into ramp now. Sixy waits at Mini, jiggling back and forth. Wolfie and himself have a pretty lethal crossfire, and they can call on Grizz to activate if they need his assistance. But looks like Marsborne will be overlooking ramp completely. And that allows Mythic to flood on in. That's a lot of space gained. And no one really towards the B site. Yes, you have 1 player, I suppose, in Grizz. Wolfie may soon realize what's happening here. Uh-oh, Flom's around the corner. This might be an easy one for him to get. Wolfie not expecting flawless positioning, but the timing somehow works out in Wolfie's favor for him to fade away. Now he goes back into the fight, and yes, Flom will get that frag. Cooper before that on to Grizz. And Mythic in a 5v3 post-plant situation. Money is not that great for the side of Marsborne. They may just opt to save. Oh, that's not great. Pwn alone going to get the headshot onto Viz. They allowed Mythic to have way too much space, a huge gap in the defense with no one watching towards ramp, and only one player able to really respond at the B site. And Mythic capitalize. Will be a first round on the board for them. And Marsborne aren't really able to save much of anything. There's a gun for 60, but he's expecting retaliation, so he hasn't gone for it just yet. Of course, the bomb has to be evaded from that B site, and it won't be. 60 goes down with the ship. It's really difficult to get a read on where you're going to die when you're up against that bomb at the B site. It can really be anywhere on the map, and 60 finds that out. So now, well, it'll still be a force buy for Marsborne. I guess you can expect it, given that that was their first round loss in the map. Usually you get that force buy, especially on a map like Nuke. Saw that body tumble down the ladder. But an inconsequential frag in the round. Flashbang's going to get tossed here. Viz and Chop waiting on that A site. And 60 will actually get the opener. He's got that rifle, and I already mentioned it. He can be very potent in terms of the firepower, even as an IGL. I saw him in his first map played with this Marsborne squad on Overpass, drop something like 37 frags in overtime. Well, once in regulation and overtime, but going to overtime, I guess is my point. It was still really impressive, and they ended up, I believe, winning that too. So we'll see what he's got here with one of the two rifles brought into the round, already giving them a frag. Mythic taking their time, though. They don't want to go for quick fights. They're trying to find the gaps, making Marsborne come to them. Grizz hugging the edge of the smoke here, and then eventually fades back into Secret. 47 seconds left on the clock. Cooper throws the Molotov for Secret. He's expecting a player here. This looks like a good fight, but Grizz wins the duel. Cooper gets his head taken clean off. Viz waits patiently. Will get another one for himself, and they don't really trade him, but now they will. In fact, Heiza finding Chop before that is fantastic. 60 manages to rattle off another frag and leaves Flom isolated against two players, and despite the limited force buy for Marsborne, they are able to get a third on the board. Mythic did get that clean win in that first one, though. So, their first win, I should say. So they will have a buy up coming through 3 AKs. I'm guessing Flom will be on the Galil. There you go. And Pwn alone and AK, I'd imagine, as they already have plenty of utility. May just say for the op, no, okay. AK it is, and you don't necessarily have to run the op T side nuke, so going with the AK for Pwn is perfectly fine. They're going to be waiting for him to deliver on that CT side. Obviously hoping to rack up some T side rounds before they get there, and they already got that first, but I think a lot of the reason why they got it is just purely off positioning, right? It wasn't necessarily straight up duels that need to be won because they were catching Marsborne off guard in multiple instances. Wolfie tucking himself into garage. 60 from Mini. Heiza, Cooper, and Pwn alone are working their way towards Secret, and that is exactly where they'll end up. Not really too fussed in the process of getting there. Although Viz is going to toss a nade right at their feet as soon as they turn this corner. Assuming they turn the corner. Because right now they're stalled out. 1 minute on the clock. Biding their time. Very slow pace for Mythic. Trying to be strategic here, which honestly is their best chance at winning, right? Taking it slow. And trying to get advantageous fights like Cooper just does. And he gets a second one for himself. 2K for Coop. 5v3 for Mythic. Grizz could get overloaded here. He absolutely does. This is brilliant for Mythic. Like I said, you know, taking your time, trying to find the gaps in the defense, works out beautifully. And a flawless round from Mythic. Cooper with the 3K. Second on the board. Again, just coming out, catching Marsborne napping a little bit, as they charged into that site a little late in the round, but that's been their advantage so far, is just burning time off the clock and forcing Marsborne to sit there a little stagnant. I feel like Marsborne are going to have to start taking some fights and getting aggressive here. They don't really have a choice, otherwise the rhythm will be totally out of their favor. And it feels like, you know, Sixy as a player, even as a caller, likes to get a little more in your face. And that's eventually going to happen here, but Heiza answers with a couple, even though he gets traded out by the pistol. Flom, a little bit at risk, manages to fade away without dying and tosses the nade forward. Very low HP bars for Viz and Chop. Home Alone, along with Truck Lover. Again, you know, they're waiting patiently. They want Marsborne to be the ones that make the mistakes. And Chop has full control of lobby, so not really much to worry about in this instance. Oh. Truck Lover? Did he spot him? I don't know. But Flom, in the meantime, is maneuvering his way in the back lines, trying to find a stray CT. Chop sprays down Truck Lover and then gets the follow-up on Flom. What a sequence from Chop. Home Alone, last one available, surrounded and finished off. So Mythic, despite their strategy to take their time, they eventually waited out long enough that they have to go for a play and they choose the wrong site. Everyone from Marsborne is waiting there and they will be up 4-2 now. Even when the money gets tight for Marsborne, they stretch their pocketbooks out and get enough in the tank in order to pull off victories. That's going to get tough for Mythic because as the underdog, you want to try and get as much rhythm as you can. You want to string together rounds. You don't want to have it one and done every single time. Oh, Sixy with the double kill from the frag grenade. Heiza will get the trade on Viz, but that is absolute destruction. A mortar strike. Pone Alone is going to get 2 back, though. Told you guys, Pone Alone, he's the real deal here for Mythic. He's been helping them out so much in a lot of these wins. And he pulls this one back after what looked like a devastating first blow. Grizz along with Chop, very far apart from each other. One minute left on the clock. Pone Alone waits in big garage. Excuse me, not garage, he's in secret. He wants to see what Heiza and Truck are going to find. They're so patient, honestly. Eventually, they could overlook Chop. And I think that's the biggest problem right now. Oh, they don't! Truck Lover doubles back. Checks out the bottom of the ladder and finds himself an important frag. And again, Mythic strike back. I don't think Marsborne liked this pace of play at all. 8th round coming through. And now, do you force up again if you're Marsborne? Do you try one more time? That's crazy. Sixy gets that double with the nade. And they still lose the round. That was a 5v3 that Mythic are able to pull back just thanks to Pone Alone's efforts. And now they say, you know what? Let's go. Send it. We're forcing up. Wolfie a little bit lighter, though. He wants that AWP, and you can't really blame him, but everyone else goes all in. 3 5.7s, make that 4 5.7s on the MP9. Wolfie trying to get boosted up on top of the boxes here in ramp, and eventually will. Grizz gonna be the bait. Wolfie's the switch. And I mean, Marsborne are just a little reticent to go for the pushes and get aggressive. Now they will. And Cooper almost collects his first frag in the round. Chop lucky to be alive in that instance. Flom moves out, gets caught, and will be fragged by the 5.7. They know that Wolfie's up there now, but they're not aware of Grizz, who tosses the incendiary down, picks up an AK for himself, and he's going for a string of frags. Grizz Flashbang out. Oh, but Cooper takes the initiative on the big box and will ensure the trade comes through. 3v3. Health is low for Viz and Chop, but they've done this before. They found success in a similar situation already here. This one a lot closer than I expected here on Nuke. Still early goings, but Mythic are staying in it. More than that. They're about to take a fourth, potentially. 25 seconds left. Leaning in towards the A site, and Marsborne have guessed wrong. They found Cooper. That was over in lobby. But now Chop's going to have to wait for the reinforcements to arrive. He's got the AK in his hand. 60 grabs one as well. Pwn alone and Truck Lover trying to hang on for the first round win streak of the map. Truck Lover gets the first, Pwn alone the second. It's all up to 60, and he won't be able to do it either. Mythic have won 2 in a row, and Truck Lover has got the 2K. 9th round of play, and Mythic have rebuffed Marsborne's force by, which means they could take a lead, and not to mention a lead on their T side. This is Nuke, so typically the numbers are better for Mythic. I believe on their CP side it should be the case. Absolutely is. Most teams have that lead. As we're going to round number 9. Yeah, looking at the numbers just to tell you guys, 56.1% of CT rounds are won for Mythic, as Cooper's going to take 60's head straight off. This should be a straightforward round for Mythic, but yeah, on their T side, 42.1% T round win percentage, which already nearing that point. In fact, with the 5th, it would be the case. I believe it matches that statistic, which is great for them. That being said, not like this, Mythic. You don't want to lose this round. Wolfie and Chop still alive, and Chop's got 2. Oh, the toe spotted by Wolfie. Freebie farm. No! Oh my goodness, it almost gets lost. Wolfie eats the nade now, and eventually, I want to say he's going to get felled here, but you never know. He did manage to slip away. Still has half health. Knows that someone could be above. Oh, spots the head. There's the frag. Wolfie trying to clutch out this 1v3 down to a 1v1 now. Pwn alone will finish it off. Again, another multi-kill round for Pwn alone. He's got 3 here. Leads the scoreboard for Mythic with 8. And they have the lead over Marsborne. Wow. That round got way dicier than it should have, of course, because it's just an eco for Marsborne. But still, no round has been easy here so far, so that one not being easy either fits the narrative. Right now, a 5-game win streak for Marsborne here on Nuke. They've beat Saw, Phoenix, along with Ghost on the map, to name a few. Viz going to get that opening headshot. Then Grizz follows it up with one. Truck Lover striking true, but Wolfie will immediately trade him. Very good spacing on this round from Marsborne. Cooper trying to slip through the smoke, doing a good job of it. Wolfie's turned his back already, doesn't expect this, and Cooper will collect another scalp. Moves his way up towards the A site. 60 will get isolated by that Molotov. So Chop has to be careful with how he takes this fight from Huddy. He might just have to wait for the Molotov to fade away. Cooper's looking for it. Cooper, can he do it again? Yes, he can! 2K for Coop. They've pulled it back to a 2v2. 60. He's trying to get a flank here. Cooper does get caught off guard. Well done from 60. Pwn alone in another clutch situation. A 1v2 this time. Molotov into heaven. Goes down the vent. This is where Viz is waiting, and Viz has never gone out! Pwn alone makes it a 1v1! Pwn alone planting the bomb. 60 is low. And he's realized now it's towards the B site after hearing that flashbang get tossed. Has a smoke and a Molotov. Make sure that Pwn is not behind the silo. Now Pwn alone knows that 60's coming in. 60's looking the wrong way. Pwn alone could get him here, but he doesn't open the door. Pwn alone holds his nerve. 60's just going to try for the smoke defusal. No, he fakes it. Goes for the fight instead. And Pwn alone gets the clutch once more. A 1v2. Mythic are up 6-4. What is happening here? Marsborne unable to find any type of rhythm here on this CT side. And that's a fourth in a row for Mythic. Unbelievable work from Pone. Coop as well has been clutch. 145 in round number 11. After that slow start from Mythic, they really have ratcheted up the pace in some of these instances. And you're looking at Marsborne. They've only got one buy left in this half. Just the 5-7s. Although, remember, we did almost see them win with 4 USPs and 1 lone 5-7 a couple rounds ago. So, don't count them out of this one just yet, folks. Truck Lover. Peering around from Hut. As Grizz waits over at ramp. Cooper's taking a lot of damage from 60. Now Grizz wait, jiggle peeking. Oh, Flom absolutely destroys him. No chance for Grizz at all. Mythic moving into ramp. I mean, I already talked about it. Mythic, the most surprising win for me was up against Boss. I did not expect that to come through. 2-1, 3 maps. Cooper's going to get 60 here. This is a clean round for Mythic. Not fussed at all by the half buy. No one falling just yet. I think Viz has been spotted. Maybe not. Truck Lover might just be letting him go down the vent, or maybe just didn't see him pop his head up. Either way, this round is over. No chance for Wolfie and Viz to get back in here unless Mythic get a little too antsy. Oh my god, Pone. Stop it. So good here in this series. Perfect spam down the vent, down the side of the vent, I should say. And he will make it a 7th. The old 30-year-old talent. Pulling off some magic here for Mythic. Look at that. Perfect lineup. All right, 7-4 for Mythic, and I didn't think I'd be saying it, but they're going to be heading into that second half with a lead on their T side. Honestly, this would be the upset of the cup if Mythic win. Hands down. Maybe Mythic are your next major contenders. Ever think about that? I certainly didn't, but hey. If they can keep pulling off wins against teams like this, they will move up in the rankings. They'll skyrocket in them. Look, this one's far from over. Maybe I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but it's still exciting to think about, right? Cooper gonna get the opener and then the second, but back and forth we go, and eventually, no, it's not gonna favor Marsborne. 2v2. Truck Lover, along with Pone alone, they've got the space gained on the site. Utility thrown in perfect unison. Smoke might be a little too deep, so that'll give 60 a clear path through as he rattles off a couple of bullets around the edge of it. Yeah, he's got the spot over the top, so I think he knows where Truck Lover is. That being said, I don't know how much that's going to give him. They've still got a Molotov and 2 flashes. One of them just recovered off the ground by Truck Lover. Time ticking away on this bomb. 60 and Wolfie have to get a move on. There goes 60. Wolfie the last. This is going to be 8-4 Mythic. It is 8-4 for Mythic as we head to the second half of play. But before that, a break. Welcome back, folks, to this NA lower bracket semifinal ECL Season 50 Cup number 4. Mythic are up 8-4. Who would have thought? And that was done on their T side. Now they switch over to CT side, which they're much better at, but maybe this will be where Marsborne make their comeback. Nice job by them getting into this pistol round and finding 3, but they've lost 2 in the process, so still a chance for Cooper and Pone, who were so good in that first half, to strike. Cooper gets 1, but he is traded immediately, so now it's all up to Pone alone, who's got a couple of clutches already under his belt. He's looking for a third. Pone alone won't get it. Wolfie shuts him down before he can even activate, and Grizz's 3K will power them forward to a 5th round victory. Mythic would have really loved to take that pistol, because you get the pistol, then you really start believing, right? But you lose it, and that means that, well, you're either going for a force buy here, or you go for an eco and get the rifles out in the next. Looks like they're committed to the force. Pone alone, is he going to save for the op? Long term? No, he's forcing up as well. That makes sense. 3 Deagles, the 5.7 and the MP9. And on the side of Marsborne, only a couple of rifles. They wanted to prioritize the utility. Makes sense. You kind of need to on a map like Nuke, or really any map, but this one in particular, because you need all of those smokes to take the outside control. 60 drops down. Pone alone with the opener, eventually traded by Chop. Good spacing from Marsborne, but they're going back and forth. Oh no, Mythic have already gotten 3 down to dirt. Viz strikes back onto Flom to make it a 2v2. But Mythic are very much in this round. Viz will put Cooper down. Truck Lover, last one available. Nade sails into heaven. Flashbang tosses a good one. Needs to hit a clean shot. Does, but it's not clean enough on Wolfie. Just a little more to the left, and that would have been a headshot. But it's not. Clips him in the neck. He goes down to 22. And it will be a 6th round for Marsborne. And now Mythic on to the eco. So the conversion is good for Marsborne, which means that likely a 7th will be available for them. 2 5.7s, the P2K, and a couple of USPs. Flom chose to invest into the armor as well. Along with the lone utility, that nade, I assume, to be tossed towards outside. Yeah, I believe that's where it went. Anyway, Flom gets dinked up there. Nade to chase him out. Stays alive, and Hyza swings around. Nice little bait and switch there from the side of Mythic, although I'm not sure how much that's going to mean in the long run of this round. This Flom is very low, but at least they recover a Mac 10 for themselves. Marsborne a much quicker pace than Mythic had at the beginning of their T side. It eventually changed, towards the latter part of that first half, but Mythic were really taking it slow. And I think that's a large reason why they had so much success, because Marsborne couldn't get into that flow state. And now Hyza catches 60, looking the wrong way. Flom around the corner could catch Grizz as well. Oh my goodness. Wolfie and Grizz eventually realize what's going on. 3v2, 50 seconds left. Pone alone, beyond the flames. They don't expect him. He double dinks Viz with the P2K. Grizz will eventually find that trade. It's up to Hyza with the Mac 10. This feels like too tall of a task. Maybe not. Hyza insta headshots Grizz when he goes around that corner, and now Wolfie can't feel safe. Nade goes out. Tons of damage from that nade. Yeah, takes Hyza down to 10 HP. Now he's only 1 bullet away from death. That makes things a lot easier for Wolfie. But it's not impossible for Hyza to pull this back. Molotov lands in the perfect spot. Wolfie has to fade away, cycling towards Squeaky, but while he does that, Hyza takes up the space on the site, pulls out the pistol. He's going to rely on that. Might tap the bomb here. It's a 10-second defusal. Can't get the win against Wolfie. The 1v1 goes the way of Marsborne. And they will get the 7th, but that is a lot harder than it should have been. Very similar to the way Marsborne played when they had those 4 USPs and the 5.7 themselves. And now we go to round number 16. Does Mythic have anything left in the tank here into this second half, or was that first half all they could really bring us? That is the question on our minds. Guns are out. Cooper actually on the op. Surprised to see that. Pwn alone pretty potent with it. This might just be positioning based. No, it's not. Excuse me. Pwn alone is actually the secondary op. He does run it frequently enough, I think. Like 34 sniper rating, so he's using it on certain maps. But Cooper remains the primary. "51 seconds on the clock." Marsborne biding their time. Flom's holding the angle, but he's too stagnant. Grizz catches him off, and then Viz and Sixy get a couple more. Hyza, what can you pull back? A couple back, in fact. Chop and Wolfie go down by the wayside. Sixy down to 1 as well. Oh my goodness. Mythic trying to pull this one back from the brink, and Truck Lover will bring it down to a 1v1. Sixy on a singular point of health, limping along here. Has the bomb on his back, dragging his legs to the bomb site. Will eventually plant it. Zero margin for error for Sixy. Molotov's gonna get tossed to heaven, but no one's home. As Truck Lover moves in. Only a flash for him, so won't have the luxury of a smoke diffusal, and doesn't have the kit either. So despite Sixy's 1 point of health, still not a bad situation for him. Truck Lover needs to look the right way. He's not yet. Sixy continues to bide his time. He's won this on time. That is absolutely brilliant from Sixy. 1 HP, gets the plant, fades off the site, plays the time, and survives with the op picked up off the ground. He was half a second away from the bomb exploding and killing him. Fortune favoring Sixy in that round, and a recovery from Marsborne, taking the first 4 rounds in this half. They've erased Mythic's lead. 4 M4s and the MP9. Mythic are forcing up. I mean, I call it a force by it. In terms of the guns, not really, but utility, yes, definitely. Don't have much util available. They've already used a lot of it in the opening moments of the round, and that leaves them with a smoke and 2 flashes. That is it. No stall utility in terms of the incendiaries. Marsborne. Oh, Wolfie's around this corner. Yes, he will hit that shot. Spotted out Cooper. Slow peeking with the AWP. Just a tough angle to watch from the CT side. That being said, Flom, a nice trade onto Chop. Viz and Grizz pinching in. Moving as a unit. Sixy throwing the flashbang for them. This is a really good clear of A. Very nice clear. Hyze is going to have to do a lot of work, and 1 is not enough. Pwn alone and Truck Lover on the outside looking in. Fake plant for Sixy trying to draw out attention. Vent not broken either. Makes it really easy for Marsborne to know when someone's going that direction. Wolfie catches Truck trying to push the smoke. Just bad timing for Truck. And Pwn alone says, nope. I'm out of here. Gonna save the gun. And it will be Marsborne retaking the lead, which they last had when it was 4-3 in their favor in that first half. It has been quite some time since they've tasted that lead. And success as a whole. That first half was a very rough show for them. Well, Pwn alone saves the A1S, and everyone dies around him, so an exceptionally expensive round for Marsborne. But they do get the lead, and that's the important part. We're going to see the replay here. This is just really nice execution. You know, you get Viz and Chop in a prime position, flashbang thrown by Sixy to support them and make them feel more confident in their push, and only 1 from Hyza before he's traded out. Nice take of A. Now Marsborne are looking to hit double digits first here. Op is back in Cooper's hands. An AK from that previous round from Pone alone. And 2 M4s to round out the buy. Isa using the MP9 on top of Hut. 6y. Taking that space outside. There come the smokes. They had the first smoke thrown. The guys off some vision. Then the other two go in for the wall of smokes and allow 6y to move his way down. This is just to put a lot of focus towards outside when the actual hit is going ramp. They don't have to go B either. I mean, this could be a fake with those smokes and 6y down secret to make Mythic feel like it's going B. And they've got all the control right now. Yeah, 6y even doubles back, goes into mid. Pone alone will trade him. Nice move from Pone alone. But in the meantime, they're still guessing. Like, we don't have ramp control. That's what Mythic's thinking. We don't know where Marsborne are going to go, so they have to commit 2 players to B. And that means the A site's going to be softened up. Hyza will stay alive, and Pone alone supports really well to allow them to gain the advantage here. Truck Lover strikes as well. It's all down to Viz, and Mythic have tied it up. 9-9. Marsborne falls apart at the seams as they're trying to make their play into A, which honestly, given all of the options that they had there, not sure that was the best one, at least not from Hut. Might have been more appropriate to push around, cycle from J-Hall, go up into heaven, and strike from there, get the advantage from above, or just maneuver your way into the B site, because Mythic were kind of scrambling to gain that space again. But instead, they go back into Hut, and I mean, they paid the price. There was a nice setup there, and that's the problem, right? When you can't get into heaven, you don't have a player there, you can't clear out that upper space, and you're having to look high and low when you move in from Hut. Highs is going to get the opener, though, here. On to Wolfie. Mythic. Yeah, it's happening. They're going to be the first ones to hit double digits. Grizz, the last one available. He will get a couple. Goes down with a fight. A Truck Lover ends the round, and Mythic are 3 rounds away from taking their map pick of Nuke and going to Inferno with a 1-0 lead. This is probably 11. I mean, Marsborne aren't buying. They're on the eco. A Deagle, 4 Glocks. Look at that damage done. Yeah, the Flom is just farming here. Well, Hyze is actually going to be the one to end things for Chop and Wolfie, but Flom does strike for a couple. Okay, Viz actually slipping through for a bomb plant. That is not bad at all. That's money gained in a round you invested nothing into. So $600 bonus, along with the lost money that's going to be coming in. So that's a small comfort. What's not a comfort at all for Marsborne, it's 11-9 for Mythic. 2 more rounds and they have this one. They've looked darn good in the process, too. Cooper and Pone alone in particular, but now Hyza, along with Flom in the second half, having some key moments. Here it is. Marsborne lose this one. I mean, sure, you might have that loss bonus racked up and be able to get another buy, but they are going to be in big trouble. On alone. We'll get the opener onto 6y. Here we go. IGL taken down there on the side of Marsborne. Chop hesitant to move into lobby. He is by himself. It's really spread out from Marsborne, except towards that B side where you have a couple of players grouped together. This is, I suppose, an attempt from Chop to create a lot of noise towards the A site and distract Mythic from the actual hit, but I mean, they've still got Truck Lover right here. Smoke gonna get tossed. Now, of course, Marsborne knows that someone's home. Does it even matter? It doesn't! Truck Lover strings two together, knocking the skulls of Grizz and Wolfie. 5v2 in favor of Mythic. Chop trying to get back into this one, but he won't be able to do much. It's all up to Viz. What is happening? We've entered a parallel universe where Mythic are a team that can come out with victory against Marsborne. 12-9 in their favor. That's a pretty clean round two. Aside from Viz and Chop collecting a couple. 3 rounds available for Mythic. Crazy stuff. I love it. I absolutely love this. 3 Tech 9s and 2 Galils. Nade's gonna get tossed in for Hut. Mythic have got this served up. They're in prime position to take it. They just have to close the door here. Flom's in a really good spot. I mean, I doubt they'll expect this one. And Pone getting the first, even better. Just gonna wait at the smoke. Yeah, they're gonna get completely caught off guard. Flom! Almost the triple. Grizz down to 14 HP. 60 taken down to 8. Only 22 HP combined for Marsborne. Mythic are gonna take this one. Grizz has to pull off a crazy 1v4 clutch with 14 HP, 3 pieces of util, which is good, and 53 seconds left on the clock. He's got the time and the utility, but not the health. Cannot go for an extended engagement. With an AK in his hands, I might believe. But an M4, the headshots aren't going to be good enough against Hyza and Pone alone. Maybe, well, obviously against Cooper. But he's not going to look this way, is he? No, he doesn't. He double takes, but it's too late. Cooper gets the last 16 for him, but the story is Pone alone with 24 frags. Unbelievable contribution as Mythic get a surprise victory here on Nuke up against Marsborne. I'm in a little bit of shock, to be quite honest with you. This is one that was framed up to be, he technically retired, right, when he left the Party Astronauts, but decided to come back and play for the Stream Team Mythic because he is a streamer now, right?
Yeah.
He's going up and taking that mantle for himself in the twilight of his career. And, well, I mean, making a lot of noise here in this Cup number 4. Again, I talked about it before. Boss, one of their victims here in this Cup, that was a surprising loss on the side of Boss, who are really stumbling as of late. But still, for me to take that win is pretty crazy. And now they've got a map here against Marsborne and a chance to face off against either Voka or Skinrave, which would be another ridiculous. I believe it would be a grand final matchup as well. Anyway, Grizz is going to get a couple here up against Ponolo and Flom as we've finally gotten started with the first round of action here on Inferno.
And it starts out strongly for Marsborne, and they still have the damage advantage too, with Cooper on 18 HP, Truck Lover 79, but High's up close, only able to get the 1. That could have been a game changer for Mythic in this pistol round. Regardless, the bomb going to go down, and Cooper's going to get caught one way or another. It's Viz around the corner, Truck Lover domed as well. And Marsborne, a nigh flawless victory on the pistol, kicking things off with a bang on Inferno, and getting themselves an early lead here on their map pick.
I mean, this is the expectation, right? Like, Marsborne are the absolute favorite on this map. There's a reason why they picked into it. We already talked about it, 20-5 over the last 3 months, and Mythic don't have that much experience with a lone win against Zomblers, who are on the bottom tier, I would say, of ECL in terms of their performances as of late. So that's not much to go off of. But in the past, and I'm talking about the very, very distant past, like Mythic were a team that loved playing on Inferno. And I remember it many ECL seasons ago. They had some real barn burners on this match. On this map. So we'll see if maybe they can deliver here Although from that team, I think it's only Flom that remains.
I think so. And we're going back in the Wayback Machine right now, John.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy to think how far we've come as a region, and still, with all the struggles and everything, there's still such a strong, if I can say, local fan base and support for everything. And that's a great Molotov, too. That's going to take out Cooper. Perfectly placed. Great read from Marsborne.
Yeah, I'm surprised Cooper goes down, too. It just took a step too far forward there. And ends up paying the price. Mythic on the 4-spy. Isa. Along with Ponalone. Wait here to greet this Marsborne squad as they move in. And, well, the only ones doing the greeting are Marsborne with their guns. Sixy finds a couple of headshots, cracking some skulls, makes it a 5v2. Flom and Truck Lover, I mean, they just should save, honestly. Keep what they've got for this next round.
The armor, the helmets, more importantly, there's Galils, no AKs on Marsborne, so the helmet will definitely help out a lot. The 5.7, the Deagle, both one-shot headshots depending on range. So keep those guns up, try again in a semi-half buy into round number 3. But right now, Marsborne kicking on all cylinders, and they're clicking heads to start things off on this map. Maybe a little bit of a wake-up call in that early one, caught napping. Maybe not fully mentally ready for what's to come. I do like the strong buy, though, from Marsborne here, with the Galils on 3. You had the potential for spy coming through from the CTs, which we did see, so they're ready for that. They still have the MAC-10s to move around, create more space, to close those gaps a little bit faster. So it's a good, well-done buy to counter this from Marsborne, and I think that might be the good old classic meme. They're no longer leaning back in the chair. They're sitting up, leaning forward, and they're ready to go.
Yep. No question. I think they're probably pretty stunned by the fact they even lost on Uke and trying to collect themselves here. You see that Mythic are just going to go for a B stack. See if it's the correct call. Some investments here. Upgraded pistols at the very least for 3 players. A couple of 5.7s in the Deagle. And yeah, they've gambled correctly. I think, because the bomb is still down outside of ramp. It doesn't even matter if the gamble was right, though. Sixy cleans him out, almost the ace, but Wolfie's going to have to finish what Sixy started. 3-0 for Marsborne.
Great start for Marsborne there. Nice bank account building for Sixy, up at 10K before he rebuys into this one. He'll still have about $5,000 left over after the success of that round. And just looking at again, perfect spray with the MAC-10, goes for the ego peak with the dualies, doesn't quite get rewarded for it, but he got his job done with the 4 on the Mac. They'll only have 1 into the first gun round for Mythic here as well. The op for Cooper is the thing to keep an eye on for the CT side. And that's going to be over towards A mid as well, up on bracket side of things. And a good nade down middle will do some decent damage to Grizz and Viz, down about 30 HP respectively. So early start for Mythic with the guns and utility is looking good, although Truck Lover eats and counter nade over on the B side of things, which will stunt his chances in this round a little bit. But Marsborne look a bit waffly right now. They're going back and forth, now starting to retreat towards the A side of things, almost relying on Chop to get information or a pick. But Mythic playing so slow and so passive right now, it's going to be on Marsborne to force the entry.
Smoke gonna get tossed for Arch. Cooper watching with the op, sees the hand and knows that the assault is coming. Sixy gets the opener, Flom the trade onto Sixy. That was towards the B site. They're hoping for rotations and they've got what they asked for. Cooper maneuvering his way through library, now going to get caught as he comes back in here. Needs to be quick on the trigger, and he is. No one's really watching. There's the trade from Grizz. 3v3. Chop finds a follow-up, but it will be back and forth, ending up in a 2v2. Flashbangs everywhere. They don't know Ponalone's on the site, and he's got another chance to shine here for this Mythic squad. Oh, that's tough.
Yup. Doink down. He probably would have been taken down by the gunfire of Chop, who domes Flom as he comes up through brackets. What a play by Chop. Presence of mind to get the nade out on site, and then read for the rotation that he knew was coming. Takes the gamble. It's going to be coming through mid and not through B. Holds his line and delivers a finishing blow. Great stuff from Chop, and I hope we'll get the nade on replay again, because whether or not Chop gets the nade out, I think he still has that kill dead to rights. Just, cool, calm, collected. Nothing better from Chop.
Yeah, just banks it off the wall and lets the nade do the talking. 4-0 for Marsborne. It looked like Mythic were about to pull that one back. But Ponalone's clutch potential that we saw on Nuke hasn't yet shown its face here on Inferno. Smoke's going to get tossed. He pops around that corner and does a little bit of damage to Chop, but he's on the receiving end of the worst of it. Down to 21 himself, and then Flom, through that smoke, I believe, at Banana, is going to take even more damage. So, Marsborne looking a lot better on Inferno than they ever did on Nuke.
They're looking strong right now, and with the economy situation, looking primed for a 5-0 start. Maybe looking to kick this into high gear and get us to a third map relatively quickly. I like this aggressive push from Cooper, though. Through halls, he's going to yin-yang with Chop, though. And that is going to potentially cause some problems. I think he does know Chop's up in bedroom. And Cooper's going to be on the fast flank. They're not going to know he's here. Viz is the only one who might have a chance of stopping it, but Cooper's keeping himself slow, moving through, waiting for the flank, but waiting for it to pop at the right time. The rotations are here too. 3 on site. This is a perfect setup right now for Mythic, and they still don't know Cooper's here. Heiza's still fine up on top of Flowers, and Truck Lover gets the opening kill. The 5-7's up close and personal, hard to dispel, and Cooper's activated. Floms gets one as well. Viz sprays wildly. He's finished off, and so Chop's now in another 1vx, a 1v4 instead of the 1v2 like the round prior, and he's slipped on through. They don't know where he's coming from, but they have a pretty darn good idea. He's most likely coming through CT. He's spotted, and he's taken down to 35 HP, all but dropped. He's going to try and save as time runs out, and I believe he's going to be successful with that. But what a round from Mythic. What a play from Cooper.
Yeah, and I mean, look, it's Mythic going for the gamble stack on B site again with the lighter buy-up, and it works out for them this time. Didn't work out the first time, but man, oh man, that is just brilliant, right? Because you get 4 players alive, 4 AKs carried over, grabbed off the ground, and Truck Lover is the only one who has to buy, and he goes into an M4. That is a huge boost for a Mythic squad that was blanked in those first 4 rounds. And now that gives them life. It gives them hope again, right? Because they've already got that first map under their belts. Like, we can get the upset here. That makes you think this is definitely possible. Okay. Until Viz takes the head off of Cooper through the smoke, just spamming the angle, while I believe he was also flashbanged. Anyway, Truck Lover, the train, no! 6, denies him that. Marsborne had trouble finding the response sometimes on Nuke, and, well, I was going to say, it feels like they found it here and more, but Flom does manage to pull one back.
Still a 4 versus 3 favoring, now a 4 versus 2 favoring Marsborne, as Flom peeks into Wolfie. Chop's going to lurk around towards A, look for the apartments push, and Ponalone spraying away will reveal his position, most likely just going for a save. Do a little damage if he can, maybe get a kill through the smoke, but there's no real chance for the retake to work for Mythic, and so that response comes right back, isolating the Mythic victory at 1 round. These guns being saved imperative to Mythic having a bye to the next round. Only Truck Lover will be relegated to something lower, and Ponalone will have the money to be able to drop over an M4 to his teammate. So things won't be terrible for Mythic. The problem is only 1 round to kick things off in the first 6 on CT side Inferno is not a great start. And things are only going to get worse once Marsborne gain that momentum and really get the ball rolling. They're still reeling a little bit. There's a couple things here and there which they don't look exactly as sharp as you might expect, but they're getting the job done now, and that's a scary prospect for Mythic, who, if this continues a beatdown fashion like this, that confidence from that first map victory is going to evaporate.
Yeah, certainly. And then Overpass, there's not much there for Mythic versus, the side of Marsborne. I talked about this already. They have a lot of comfort on pretty much every single map in the pool. And Overpass is no no different, right? They had a 4-game win streak there up against Take Flight, NRG, Voca, and Reactor 9, but it's really the first 3 that matter, and I would say in particular NRG and Voca, but then did lose to Voca recently in this cup right here, 9-13 on the map. Still, they've got more experience there, they've got more confidence, so I think this is it. Like, Mythic kind of feels like they need to win on Inferno if they want to take this series, otherwise Marsborne will be well on their way to that reverse sweep. It's still a long ways off, right? We're only in round number 7, right? But it feels like the trend has started to materialize.
Yeah, the storyline is starting to emerge here for Marsborne, and with every round they tack on the T side, it only becomes more likely. Isolating the CT round helps for the economic battle as well as we get towards the second quarter of this game. Pwn alone, though, a double spray down, and now things go from good to bad for Marsborne, needing a couple picks back. Cooper swings and misses. He'll be struck down by Sixy as Heiza watches the spray go through, holds his nerve. That's a smart call. He could get overwhelmed, found through the smoke if he shoots there. Instead, he'll play the info game and allow the rotation to come through. Pwn on site. One in towards CT. That's Truck over in Library, or Wine, as it's called now. And the Molotov buys more time, but Truck gets caught. Heiza has to rotate over and help out. Pwn alone, he's expected. Good read by Grizz, learning from the positions of Mythic in prior rounds. And the bomb needs to go down quickly. The rotations are here, though. It's going to come down to the pit player. Grizz has to get one here, or at least stall for time.
Flom, staring down towards pit. He knows someone has to be here. Flashbang thrown for the site. They don't take the initiative with Pit, so this is a clean fight for Grizz. Gets the first, probably the second. There you go. Heiza and Flom overlook the most important part of the map, and Grizz will get a 4K. 6-1 in favor of Marsborne in a round that was absolutely trending Mythic. They had the man advantage at a certain point, but it just slips away thanks to Grizz's efforts again, along with Chop, and Sixy's having a much better map here on Inferno than he did on Nuke. And I mean, just feels like everyone's activating. Wolfie, I mean, it's been a little bit tough for him because Nuke on CD side, certainly, you can shine with the AWP, but didn't really do that there. And now you're on Inferno where the op is a lot harder to run. But that being said, he has proven to be very effective for them with the AWP, which you don't even usually utilize on T side. You see a lot of teams moving away from it. Anyway, Chop and Viz are gone. Pwn alone manages to get one, and then Heiza will trade out his death. 4v2 for Mythic.
And the bomb down on stairs, too. That's a tight choke point to retake for Marsborne. The remaining pair, Wolfie and Sixy, one of those has that op. This is a situation where the op really hamstrings you on the T side. But luckily for Sixy and co, the bomb's been abandoned. Heiza's backed away, playing site instead. Danny's going to do his due diligence, clear his angles, grab the bomb there instead. And I would like to see Wolfie swap over to an AK that's over towards the app side of things, but he's going to just keep the op for now. Heiza's in a good spot, too, on the balcony. A little 1-2 punch with Cooper over on lane. It's a tough retake scenario here for Marsborne, and they might even be trying to bait out this B push with the reposition from Wolfie. Sixy's going to make a little bit more noise, trying to spur him in. Although Wolfie's going very aggressive here. He's pushing up and into contact. He's about to get traded even if he wins this first duel, and he's not going to be able to do that. Flom's holding close. The op not exactly made for that scenario, and so Sixy's in a 1 versus 4. He's had a much better map, but he needs to be heroic now.
Do you believe in Sixy? Yeah, 16 seconds left. Heiza should have the freebie. No, doesn't look the right way. Okay, now it's on.
He's got safe plan.
Sixy gonna try for the plant. Cooper pushes forward, and while he does get the bomb plant, Sixy will fall. No more clutching available for him in the round. Mythic do indeed secure themselves a second off some very solid play from Pwn alone at the beginning of the round. They get aggressive into the apartments. Pwn finds 2, a great trade from Heiza afterwards, and they had full control from that moment, and they never really let go of it.
Here's the other thing, too. Pwn alone got the double man advantage for Mythic on round 7. They weren't able to close that round out. Heroics from Grizz, a 4K, won the round for Marsborne. Pwn alone doubles down in apartments. Isaac gets the second one, so it's still a 2-man advantage, a 4 versus 2 this time. And they close it out in the end. That's what Mythic need to do, close out their advantages. And Wolfie needs to land that kind of a shot. He's still going for the peaks here. And he takes another one through the wall, but if he gets that opening pick, it's so much more advantageous for this Marsborne side. Instead, they're going to have to fall back, retreat, and rethink what they're going to do, which is going to be a lot harder now. Night, Wolfie. Flom's going to spray you down.
And he almost got sprayed down in return, but he survives with 6 points of health. That is... If you're going to run the op on T side of Inferno, you need to hit those shots. I mean, I completely agree with you. That's a tough whiff to watch on the side of Wolfie. And while 60 will take up the op for a moment, Pwn alone hits Chop. Collecting another scalp here for the side of Mythic. 53 seconds left, and I mean, the one problem for Mythic is how much space that Marsborne have gained into CT, and I'm not sure they're aware of it. Pwn alone is watching, but he won't hit that shot. His head is now gone, and I think this is very much on, right? Because Marsborne can go towards B, they can go back to A, and that's going to leave Mythic guessing. That means that a man advantage, no matter which bomb site they charge towards, they will choose A.
He needs that kill, but he gets removed by Grizz, but Cooper in the pit can make it a graveyard. One more chance. Hits the wall. No, he doesn't. Doesn't get anything but the barrel. If he hit something beyond that, could have been a much easier route for Mythic with Flom on 6 HP. Essentially all up to Truck Lover now. 60 in the open, walking away, has a nice angle, but Truck takes him down. But Grizz right there for the trade. One shot on Flom will do him in. Grizz looking for the ace now. Time running down. Flom has to move, does have a kit and a flashbang as the smoke will fade. Flom's out in the open. Grizz gets the ace, though. And so both rounds for Mythic now have been won, isolated and exposed. They can't string anything together. And it's Grizz again, who has to be a hero for this Marsborne team.
Yeah, no, Grizz has been a pretty impressive player for Marsborne since they picked him up. And, I mean, if you look at his, there's 2 rounds that he had, one with a 4K and one with an ace. So that's 9 of his 13 frags coming in, only 2 of these 9 rounds that they've played, which is pretty crazy, but important victories every single time. And he talked about in the man disadvantage situation, he got that recovery, and right there, kind of a similar story. And this time he gets every single one. Oh my goodness, how does Flom burn alive in that Molotov? Well, he does. Cooper tries to pull it back, but only gets 1. 4v3 in favor of Marsborne. We're now looking for their 8th round victory. Can Mythic pull another one back? Is the question. Heiza slips into Boiler. Plenty of time left for Marsborne. They can't overlook Boiler. They kind of do, and Heiza only gets 1, so they're lucky that the trade is right there. Pwn alone and Truck Lover are rotating in from the B site. This is going to be a bomb plant.
A bomb plant and most likely a pick for Wolfie here as he's got the op train on Pwn alone's position. He'll check back middle, back turned, bullet to him. And Truck's going to have to save here. Book it out to the B site because there's no chance back in. Mythic, they get around here. They have a couple of good plays, but they're not really able to build on those kills, on those rounds, and turn it into something consistently positive. That's been their problem on this map, John. They've got good pieces, but the Lego set's all in different pieces. There's little bits here and there which look nice, but there's no cohesive picture. It's not coming together. It won't connect.
Yeah, no, definitely agree. And this is kind of what I was expecting on Uke, just that it did connect on that map for them, which was surprising. But right here, this is kind of the way the map was starting, and then it didn't continue. And Mythic took that 8-4 lead on that T side. But this time, Marsborne do not let up. You know, they kicked it into a second gear, realizing, wait, this can't happen. We are the favorites here. We are the ones who are expected to go in and fight the winner of that Skin Rave and Voca matchup. So now, you know, on their best map of Inferno, they are proving why they're so good here and making it exceptionally difficult for Mythic. Flom, though, going to take a fight again off the flash thrown by Pwn, and he could even gain the advantage on Wolfie. Does he expect him to be here? Yeah, he's looking in this direction. No, actually, maybe past it. So,
oh yeah.
Do they even know? They're both blind to each other's presence. Absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
None the wiser. Anyway, on the A site, Heiza's going to get a couple here. Grizz and Chop gone. And the third. Viz can't do anything either. Wolfie left stranded and alone. He was in that weird situation with Flom in that smoke where neither of them knew the other was there, but now he's the last one standing.
And there's nothing he can really do with the op in this situation. Maybe pick one off, but it's going to be tough sledding to even get two out of this. And Flom's going to crouch peek his way into apartments and behead Wolfie. There's the third for Mythic here as we get towards the end of the first half, last round of the first half right now. And we'll see if Mythic are going to be able to at least get the 4 rounds that Marsborne were capable of on Nuke in that first map. Always love to see when the games kind of rhyme with each other.
Yeah.
Look at the buy for Marsborne. 3 techs, a Galil, and an AK. Utility is not great. At least there's 4 incendiaries, 4 Molotovs. That's nice, but the smokes aren't all there. The flashes are definitely lacking. And already, Mythic are dealing the damage through this wall, through the smokes, with nades. A couple Marsborne players jumped down a little bit.
Is that team damage there, though? Anyway, it doesn't matter.
I think
Marsborne are moving in.
Nade, but I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I'm not sure. Anyway, either way, it's Flom that's going to get a couple here. Wolfie strikes back for one onto Flom. 3v3 situation post-plant for Marsborne. Surprised they're even able to make it through. 60's going to blindside Heiza. No, he doesn't. Heiza clears it. Well done. Heiza. Now going to be moving into construction. Church. Wolfie and Viz are both going to occupy this space. A bit of a risk to keep both players in the same angle, but the nade goes in the wrong direction. They have another one. And it's still available from Pone. Tosses that one forward again. Not in the right spot. Time ticking away on this bomb. Viz going to be spamming down one, but loses the next fight. It's all up to Wolfie. Time ticking away. Needs to win this fight, and he won't. Defusal comes through. Mythic do indeed get a 4th, and we got another 8-4 half as we hit the break. All right, we're back into the action here. 8-4 for Marsborne this time as we head into the second half of this lower bracket semi-final.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering, because I know it says semi-final, but is this not? Am I crazy to think it's the quarterfinals in lower bracket? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Maybe it's just mislabeled on.
Because there's lower final and consolidation final.
There we go. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, it's just a naming thing, isn't it? It always gets me crossed up. Truly. But anyway.
It's an elimination game.
Exactly. Both teams have to win or they're out of this.
Well, right now, Mythic need a pistol round win if they're going to continue on that stretch on this map. They took their pick, and right now, Marsborne have returned the favor exactly out of that first half. And right around the corner, Chop's gonna get flashed in, spray away with the dual Berettas, comes up empty-handed, strikes out swinging, as Cooper will tap a couple, as 60 only got one. That is an engagement where Marsborne had all the advantage. They had everything working for him, except for the headshots. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Not the way Marsborne pictured this pistol round, ending up, like you mentioned, all the pieces in the right place, but now they just take the body armor and save it over for the next round, meaning that they'll probably go for a force buy. Wow. I mean, frags matter to get a little bit more money in their bank account, so they're actually going down and looking at retreating players. There's Grizz collecting one. Looks like a second. There you go. Well, okay. Maybe all the body's going to drop here, so that'll be an extra 250. Heiza going to go down. No, he's not going to go down to the bomb. And only an extra 200, but still, that's fantastic, because not only do they get that extra 200, but both players stay alive and keep their armor.
Yeah. Well, Grizz will go for a helmet here. That'll be extra. He'll have a helmet with the FAMAS. This force buy is going to have some bite to its bark. And yeah, I mean, great tap there from Grizz. What a tap. But look at this buy here. 2 MP9s, 2 5.7s, a FAMAS. The utility is good considering the situation. It's not good if they had all the money, but Mythic's going in with 3 MAC-10s, a Galil, and an AK. They are not going to be ready for this kind of defense at all. Marsborne they have guns, they have armor, they have potency, and some nade damage onto Flom, one of those 3 MAC-10 players to start things off. Mythic are waffling about here right now. They got their pistol round win, but the second round of those halves is so much more important than it used to be in MR15. So this is really where the rubber hits the road for both of these two teams in this map.
Without a doubt. Mythic biding their time. This is what they did on Nuke, right? They waited so very long looking for openings in the map, and it's different on Nuke, right? Because you have a lot more opportunities. There's a lot more map to cover on that over there, but here, not as many approaches, right? There's a couple of choke points, one towards bracket and the other one at top banana, and that's it, you know? So you got to eventually get a move on here and let the util clear the space for you.
Nuke's outside alone is such a utility sinkhole where you have to put so much to get any inch of space. Oh, first contact. Grizz lets his position be known, and Mythic are going to use this lurk of Heiza as a decoy grenade, essentially. Draw rotations over, but Marsborne have read this perfectly. They've got 4 here. Chop's got 1, but goes down. 60 another. Wolfie 1 more. Heiza gets 1 on the lurk, but he's the last man standing and took significant damage in that duel. 12 HP left, and he's cut off by Wolfie down bottom banana. Marsborne strike again. They turn the tide back into their winning ways, and once more Mythic will win a round and then lose the subsequent, which is not a way to win a game.
Nope, that's you don't want to have your rounds being one and done and isolated. It is not a recipe for success under any circumstances. They will be forcing up here. We'll see if they can strike back. 3 Tech 9s, the MAC-10 and the Deagle. I was thinking they might go for a fast play down banana with this type of buy-up, but instead, they're going all mid. Likely apartments.
Yeah, Hall's pop wouldn't be a bad call either, especially with the
yeah.
Mac 10 leading the charge. Hop on out. It's got good jumping accuracy.
Certainly so. Grizz. He's got an MP9 though, and that's very effective at close range. Could shut this all down before it even starts.
And Wolfie's there too to support from lane. It's a good setup.
Wolfie. Tosses the smoke in. Yeah, this is even better now. With that smoke up, Grizz gets one. Only one, though. And Heise is not traded. That's too sloppy from Wolfie. How is he still alive? How is he doing this? He doesn't get traded at all. Wolfie able to do it with a USP out. The lack of armor hurting Mythic there, at least head armor. And Wolfie, despite being caught in no man's land, survives and gets the 3K.
He's just a turret. He sits there, taps away. 1, 2 on the USP, spraying down, gets the one on the wall bang, but then the fact that Truck's full blind, and as the second player too, the flash from Viz is what allows Wolfie to do that kind of damage. That's some good team support right there. And realistically, if Marsborne had all the armor, it doesn't probably go that way, as Grizz will go farm a couple of kills, gets an assist too, as Flom will have a kill taken away from him because of the team kill. Wolfie mops up the last. Grizz has been killing in bunches. He's got 21 kills to 10 deaths. Nobody on the entire server is near him. His next closest is 60 at 14, then Heise on the other side at 13. So it's the Grizz show, and everybody else is just along for the ride as Marsborne moved within 2 rounds of victory.
Yeah, this one feels like it might already be over.
It does. Feels like a foregone conclusion almost.
Yeah. Well, Molotov gonna get tossed down to top banana. Wolfie waiting and watching, but all he sees is smoke and flames. Grizz tosses a nice nade. Cooper down to half health as a result. Grizz will just fade away. Just wanted to get that util tossed, and now they're looking for him, but they're not going to find him unless they get to this bomb site. This is a nice counter utility being tossed on Mythic's approach by Marsborne. And Grizz has maneuvered his way right next to the balcony.
Wolfie getting a little aggressive with the op, spots a gun barrel, lines one up, Viz there as well as Cooper pops out a boiler. Volley down on the lane to keep things from getting a little more out of hand, keep the op from getting rushed. And Marsborne will back a little bit further away. Grizz takes advantage of the smoke, knows exactly what's going on there, and the silenced M4 will let him spray without being traced the other way. 3 kills to none in favor of Marsborne here in round 17. Looking like they want map point and quickly, shipping us off to Overpass to conclude this best of 3 elimination matchup in the lower semis. What can you really do if you're Flom or Pone alone? You have to go for it, realistically speaking. Actually, can they even afford to? They don't have time. They don't have money. They have armor and AK and Galil. And that jump might just spell the end of Flom, too.
I think, okay, yeah. I think it's better for me to go down there than after time, because that was my biggest concern, given the way that they were postured. But Pone alone will save the AK. It feels exceptionally unlikely he'll get spotted out here, and there's really no time. So yeah, at least an AK saved, but this buy-up is going to be a little bit rough for Mythic with their backs against the wall and 7 opportunities for Marsborne to send us to Overpass.
Wolfie's got his op again. Everybody's got money. AK's on 3 on the CT side. And when you look over at Mythic, you'll see a trio of Mac 10s, a Galil, and an AK. Also, truck lever 3 and 13. It's not a stat line you want to see.
No.
And contrast that with Chop's 5 and 7. Chop had a nice 1v2 clutch. So there's that, but the first kill goes the way of Mythic for a brief moment before Flom is traded out. Grizz might just pop himself a couple of heads too as he pops the smoke open, but he's swinging.
What?
That's a bit rough. Yikes indeed, and Wolfie's gonna have to hold the arch all alone, the last man on A.
I mean, that was served up on a platter. And unable to collect the frags in that instance. Either way, it looks like it's still going to trend the way of Marsborne as they will gain a 3v2 advantage. Hyza and Truck Lover, post-plant. Bullets whizzing past the heads of Mythic, and they will lose Hyza, then Truck Lover as well. Indeed, Marsborne cruise to the finish line here at 60, adding a little bit of BM, a little bit of spice this series, as it will be 13-5 for Marsborne.
Oh, you know Danny loves a little bit of spice. You get his ace there, or his 4K rather. Grizz is the one who had the ace and a 4K. Grizz was just a multi-kill machine. Absolutely fantastic, brilliant stuff from him all game for Marsborne. He's really developing well as a younger player in the North American region, one to keep an eye on.
Map.
So that opens up opportunities here for Marsborne. They can start on the T side, they can control the pace a little bit more, which I always kind of like starting on T side because there's more available to you in a way. You control your own destiny. And for Mythic, they've had okay success on the CT side this series. Inferno, though, not as much as they would have liked. And so for Marsborne, the pistol round needs to be clean, needs to be pristine. Get your headshots, start off map 2, or map 3 like you did map 2, and just really bring the pain early and often. Don't let Mythic get settled into this map. Cooper's going to fall away, and this is exactly the kind of start Marsborne need. Chop taking out Truck Lover at range over in connectors, another big pick. 2 quick ones for Marsborne, not taking a point of damage in return. Fast flank from Flom probably won't factor too much into this either. Although Marsborne are slowing things down, they're rotating over towards the B site down Con, which ends up playing into their hands more with Flom vacating the site and Wolfie going for contact over on a long. He's got another one, and he's got help too over on lane. Wolfie's just going to dance around with Hyza. They're trying to wait for Flom Mythic, but he's going to be way too far away. The bomb's down on B. And down goes Hyza too, so it's all up to Flom, who walked his way through pipe, all the way up through T-Con, all the way through upper connector, and now he's just sitting alone with nothing really able to do.
This is so clinical for Marsborne. They don't take a single point of damage. Maybe here they will. I feel like Flom has the opportunity to get one. 60. Oh no!
Wow.
Doesn't get anything at all. So 0 damage taken in the pistol round from Marsborne. You do not see that very often at all. Bit of a unicorn round for them, as Mythic will fall in very undramatic fashion. They just get wiped out.
Yeah, just crisp, clean, and concise for Marsborne. They don't rush anything there. They just go smoothly through their motions, following their protocols. And while Flom might have had a chance, 60 was quicker on the trigger. So, Marsborne have their guns again. 2 Max, 2 AKs, a Galil, up against a Scout, couple of Deagles, and a couple of 5.7s. Definitely have the firepower advantage, and not the opening kill, though. Hyza with a very good Deagle shot up close on the chop. There is a trade right back, but that's going to be an AK upgrade for 60. He'll put down the MAC-10 and look for some riflery to go his way. Molotov in towards Pit. That'll force Truck away from the headshot angle, and allow Viz to move up as well. There's the pick from Viz. That's exactly what 60 was hoping for. And Viz will double down too, taking Truck Lover with him. So 2 more kills going the way of Marsborne on entry into B. The last 2 CTs coming through the A side rotation. Nobody coming con or through T spawn. And for Cooper and Pone alone, a save is your best case scenario, although only Pone has armor. I think you still want to take the Scout and the 5.7 into the next round.
Looks like it. Guns will be saved over. Bomb will tick away. And Marsborne only take 1 casualty in these first 2 rounds. Yeah, very nicely done towards the B site. I mean, you saw that first frag that happened for Hyza. You're like, okay, this is interesting. A nice Deagle headshot, but he's immediately traded out, and then Marsborne just flood right into B and don't lose another body. Mythic on their side, as you mentioned, went for the force buy. Didn't work out for them, so at least they bring a couple of pieces into this round, along with upgraded guns for Hyza, Flom, and Truck Lover, all opting for the Desert Eagle. But, As it stands, this is still heavily leaning the way of Marsborne in this round. We'll have to wait one more to get the true gun rounds in play. 1:46 on the clock. Marsborne move in. Grizz taking that space in lower tunnels. There is a smoke toss in his direction. There wasn't much util. In fact, that may have been the only piece, one of the two only pieces that they had on the side of Mythic. And they deployed immediately just to try and slow up the round a touch.
Things might slow down a bit here, but that's also because Marsborne have to be wary of the pistols on the other side. They don't want to run into a stack. They don't want to give up a gun to one of these players and potentially swing the round that way. They're going to do their due diligence here. And it really seems that Marsborne is settling into the series as time has gone on. They've started looking stronger and stronger, particularly after that start on Nuke. That second half, they started out much stronger, but weren't able to get it done. Inferno was basically Marsborne's from the start. And so, here on Overpass, they're going to continue trying to just work their way around. Look at the B site. It's almost completely taken over. There's just a little bit of heaven pressure from Truck Lover. Marsborne are going to drop their utility, go on through. Viz is on the long rotation. He's going to circumnavigate with a couple of players going con. There is help from Wolfie there to try and shut that down. Wolfie, though, gets nothing. Viz might have to activate sooner rather than later as Grizz gets popped by Cooper. No armor glass, or he does have a vest now, but still that scout saved over is going to do so much. Now Viz, though, in heaven, walks into 60, doubles down over on short, shutting out Heiza or Truck Lover and Flom, rather, with Cooper and Pone alone, the last two standing. Cooper looking for exits here as time has gone too far. 60 going to shuffle the guns onto the site, making them unrecoverable. Heads up play there from him. As the bomb will tick, tick, boom. Mythic will go down 0-3. But they at least draw some blood in that round and make it a little bit more competitive. And Flom, or Pone rather, will get at least one of this long engagement, an AK and another kill. Nice headshot from the 30-year-old talent, as he so noticeably calls himself.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, good job by Pone alone at the very least to get a gun upgrade and get some frags on the board. A lot of extra money earned in the tail end of that round, but they need to actually get a victory on the board soon here. Otherwise, it's going to look a lot like Inferno for the side of Mythic. 3 A1S's, the AK and the Scout. Cooper still wants to get that AWP out. We'll have to wait at least one more round for that. They're hoping that a round victory can come through here. Truck Lover under a lot of pressure. Only gets one. Immediately traded by Grizz. Heiza gone as well. Here come Marsborne storming into B. They did it successfully a couple of rounds ago. They're looking to do it again. And Flom, without a response there, makes it so difficult for Coop and Pone alone. And Pone alone just got ahead of it. He's saying, look, I got to try and find something before Coop arrives. And he gets nada. Cooper alone.
Well, Cooper might go for an exit here. It's about all he can hope for now. Will he get lucky with one? That is the better question. Yeah, it's actually an op as well, which bounces forward, which allows Cooper, or 60 rather, to try and take him out. What a shot on of his, though. As 60's right around the flames, smoke goes down. Cooper's going to back away. 60 popping through the nade right there. Takes him low, and Cooper finishes the job. Last man round the corner. Grizz will not allow the op to be saved, and he should be far enough away to keep that op in hand as well. Nobody wants those CT incendiaries, so I'd want that as far away from me as possible too. Things are practically useless in some scenarios. And so, Marsborne get their extra, but Cooper does some good economic damage, taking away 3 players on the exit. Doesn't save the op, but at least it forces the reinvestments out of this T-side economy, which is now not allowed to grow out of control. And a double op setup comes out instantly for Mythic here. On a map like Overpass, it can work, but it's a very, very bold move.
Yeah, oh, Wolfie gets the opener on Truck Lover, though then Chop finds Pone alone. They're just charging in now. They've got a lot of confidence built up. And there's the flashes. Chop looking for more fights. 2 players bumping heads here for Mythic over in pit. That's not going to help things. And yeah, pathing isn't good. Comms look a little bit sloppy here for Mythic, and they lose all the bodies before they can even get a frag on the board for themselves. Cooper trying to keep the AWP alive, but that'll do it. One little detail I liked from the previous round, though, from Marsborne is the way they exited out of Monster Tunnel, because oftentimes players are kind of a little scattered, usually a little more lined up as they're moving through there, but they were side by side. So you kind of force the player to take one fight and then needs to transfer for the next one, and that just couldn't happen for Truck Lover in that instance. And afterwards, Marsborne overwhelm. And in this case, well, they don't even wait for that to come through. They just charge into the B site and take the fights immediately. Mythic have nothing that they can achieve here.
No recourse, and another 5-0 start for Marsborne in the latter two maps of this best-of-3 series, an elimination matchup. The lower bracket of the last of the ECL Cups for Season 50, John.
Yeah, we still got the regional finals coming up, right? But this is the last chance for a lot of these teams to rack up some VRS points.
For most of these teams, there's only 4 spots available in
Right.
that regional final.
Exactly.
And if you're a team like Marsborne, I'm not sure what the calculation is, but surely losing this will destroy your VRS points.
Yeah, that'll make it pretty tough.
They'd go down 4 places if they lose this. Mythic, however, would go up 16, although that doesn't look likely now with another pick going the way of Wolfie and his op.
Yeah, I was saying it before, like, it would be incredible for Mythic if they beat a team like Marsborne to move up the rankings. But, you know, at the end of the day, you have a team that's practicing hard and trying to improve themselves every single day. And on the other side, I'm not saying Mythic aren't practicing. They certainly do get some scrims going, but mostly focused on their streaming careers. That's the entire, premise of this team. So oftentimes they can pick up a map, but then afterwards struggle to really find the victories in BO3s like this, and reverse sweeps will often happen. Anyway, Truck Lover going to get the frag onto Viz. Down to a 4v4, 50 seconds left, and there's 60 striking. Chop might be able to get this well into Hyza. Okay, nice dink from Hyza. Chop struggling for control. He calls on to Grizz to support him, and then he will take care of Truck Lover in the meantime, although Grizz is the one to fall in that situation. He's the one who was supposed to support. Anyway, round's over here, Boggs. Just like that, with a snap of our fingers, this one's done.
Yeah, another great start, and just keeps on going for Marsborne. You mentioned how Mythic CT sides are a little lackluster at times on Overpass. It has proven to be the case here, as even the best case scenario is a 6-6 tie for Mythic, which is not a very likely one, as they'd have to win out of this half, as Marsborne are clicking on all cylinders. Everyone's getting frags, and 60's 9-1 to kick off the map too. He is putting in some work right now. But Marsborne really seem like they can do no wrong. And even there, you see Viz selling his AK, having Chop drop him, keeping the economy level and even. That's a high IQ Counter-Strike play, team Counter-Strike play. And a nice touch to see there, despite them on a steamroll path forward, they're still doing the little things right. And that's a good sign for the mental focus of this team, giving Mythic also the proper respect that a team of, say, guys like Flom and Ponelone, who have been around, Cooper too for that matter, who have been around for so long, deserve.
No, absolutely. You can't disrespect them. Like, you have to play some solid Counter-Strike in order to take care of business, and that's what they're doing right now. Looking at 60 in particular, he is 0.11 above his average rating on Overpass, sitting at 1.25 rating with a plus 1.48 swing percentage and a 22.1% multi-kill percentage. That's 22.1% of the rounds he's getting a multi-kill, and that hasn't really changed here. Once more on Overpass. Chop, opener onto Cooper. This is a gun round for Mythic, and that first engagement didn't really make it look like it, because 60 throws a perfect flash to set up Chop.
The flash assists have been so well done for Marsborne as well. Viz with a critical one on Inferno to help Wolfie out when he was stranded out in the open on lane. And now Chop's going to get peeked into by a couple of Mythic players, only able to get one out of the fight, but Wolfie there with the op over on the other side. Flom doubles up, though, and that's the bomb found in sewers. And this is becoming a stinky situation for Marsborne now. Wolfie, he might just get the shadow, though, and he sees the shoulder. Truck removed, towed away, and Flom, 18 HP, has to back away from the bomb and let the fear of what could be last long enough. This is going to get caught, but Grizz is watching the angle. And that's some good team play again. Marsborne checking every box off. dotting every I, crossing every T. Fantastic work from this team again.
Yeah, it's such a clean opening duel, and even Wolfie waiting for the peek sees the shadow and takes care of it on the shoulder peek. 7-0 for Marsborne. Mythic have 3 MP9s and 2 Deagles. They're going to hope that's going to be enough. It is a half investment for them, so they'll still have a full buy in the next. Nade from Chop doesn't really hit the mark because no one's really there on the other end, and Mythic are getting aggressive. They want to take a fight here. 60's waiting for it, and in fact hoping for it. In the end, Mythic just throw the smoke and don't push any further forward.
Utility slowly flying through from both sides. Flom goes for a peek. He'll back away. Tentative pressure. Right now, the MP9's a very dangerous force to go up against, and Marsborne have to be leery of this possibility. The jump spot is seen by Viz, and he'll continue to move on forward. The bomb's not been spotted, though. That does give Marsborne a little bit of sleight of hand to work with. But the boost, oh, Flom pops over, 60 doesn't see him, out they go, the boost has to fall, it doesn't capitalize on its spot, and Grizz sprays down, but he won't get the bullets to connect. Finally, kills come through, 62, Chop with 1, Grizz finally tallies, as he has an assist and kill trade with 60, leaving Cooper in a 1 versus 5, alone in connector. With nothing to connect the dots in this round. He has armor, an MP9, with some nice stickers I might add, but there's nothing he can do to win it. And that's the problem here. Mythic are getting steamrolled on every entry.
Yep. Truly. It felt like we watched a gradual progression from Marsborne in this series, right? In the first map, they kind of got stalled out in first gear, and then in Inferno, they gradually moved their way into the second gear, and right now, they are charging forward. Third gear has been hit, and they cannot seemingly be stopped. Mythic, unable to win a CT-sided round here on Overpass in the first 8 rounds. That is almost unheard of. But they're going to try and do it again here. They will have the guns out. I believe 4 A1Ss. Maybe the AWP will come into play. But look at this. Just so clean. I mean, they don't really look fussed at all.
No, it's just business as usual right now for Marsborne. Not quite going through the motions, but everything is so smooth. It's a well-oiled machine, and it took them a while to get started, but this is exactly what the Marsborne staff and coaching staff are going to want to see from their team. And, well, Chop gets the opener. Flom's had some good peeks onto Chop over on Con, or short, but it's just not enough overall. Cooper gets 1 for 1. This actually might be the best chance Mythic's had of the round.
Yeah, no, I agree. Molotov's going to get tossed out here. The problem is that they lose A so decisively here that I don't know if they'll be able to recover. And you see Pone alone coming right into the angle. I mean, he's just thunder stomping along, so Wolfie gets the easy pick. Flom and Heiza cycling in from bank and dumpster. This is going to be difficult for them. Bit of spam. Heiza boosts himself up, looking for visibility over the smoke. 60 aware of that, sees how that was tossed, so he knows that Heiza was likely in that corner. No longer there, but the smoke fades. Flom's gone. So is Heiza. 9-0 for Marsborne now.
Thunder stomping is the best way I think I've conceptualized putting it, so I'm going to go with that. It's a thunder stomp. Just boom, boom, marching along to the steady beat of their drum. And Mythic's economy shattered again. 5-7, Deagle on 2, M4 on Cooper, no helmets, utility is all but non-existent. And where's the first duel going to come from this time? That's where it all really starts to downward spiral for Mythic. I don't know if they've even gotten a first pick in this entire map yet.
I think they've had 1. Maybe.
Maybe.
It's been rough. No question.
I don't know. Pone might actually have a chance here, but does he get cleared properly? It doesn't matter. He gets a quick headshot, and he might just get more. No, Viz is there for the trade, and Chop adds one onto Heiza. So right as soon as Mythic get an advantage, it collapses into a double man up for Marsborne instead. Nice trade by Truck, though. That's a great eagle shot. He's had a few of those.
Yeah, not too bad. Ooh, trying to get another one here, and that's going to... Oh, he actually does.
Oh, no.
He hits 2 more. Jumping Tech 9 required from Wolf. He gets the spot on the Coop, throws the Molotov down to make him safe to plant this bomb. Cooper can't walk past that. There's the smoke as well. Now, where does Wolfie post up? I don't think he wanted to fall off there. He looked a little bit frustrated with himself, so he shakes it off. And now going to heaven, I think
it is
will be okay. Yeah, so it should be planted for him. He should be very comfortable in that spot.
I like how he's not over-facing, though. He's just jiggle-peeking this because it is planted for him. Cooper, oh, what a shot!
Wow, I thought he missed that.
I did too. That's a quick scope. The only reason we know it's not a quick scope is because the icons, or no scope, is because the icon's not there.
Yeah.
That was incredible.
Beautiful stuff. And, well, they get close to Mythic, and an opener is what leads to that, but 10-0 for Marsborne on their T side, and those CT side stats, unfortunately for Mythic, are not going to get any better after this one. Likely going to go down a decent amount more. Either way, you know, they're not thinking about that. They just need to get something on the board here, and Cooper is waited for by Wolfie, who drops him the second he shows face. Ponalone on the other side does manage to get a response, but still, I mean, we've seen Marsborne not phased at all, everything going their way, even when it feels like things are close. They find a way to crack through, and now they're going to make a rotation back to A. Mythic may not realize this in time. We'll see. Yeah, Truck Lover needs to be careful. Okay.
Oh, maybe it was Viz who needed to be careful, huh?
Yeah, maybe.
Grizz in the open too, caught by Flom. Is this the round for Mythic? Is this their first? And might just be as Wolfie's alone in a 1 versus 4, who would need to be an ace clutch with the op. But on a map like Overpass, it is doable. First one given. Truck swing, that's info. Ponalone on the angle, smoke down for Wolfie, but Pone spots him just the edge of his pouch. And that's a little unlucky for Wolfie. But for Mythic, they finally get a round on the board. It is a long time coming, a hard-fought round. And when you look at the broad scope of things, the big picture, it still doesn't make much of a difference in the overall look to Mythic's chances, which are very, very small.
Yeah,
they got their round.
You're hearing typing. I'm sure these two teams are egging each other on and having fun with this one. But yeah, round number 12. Yes, as you mentioned, Mythic finally do crack through with the round, but it's still going to be exceptionally difficult with Marsborne switching over to their CT side after this. Truck Lover gets one. There's another opener for Mythic. I think that's 3 in a row now. But Viz will get the immediate trade. Cooper through the smoke. No way.
Wow.
2 for him. Viz and Wolfie erased. Chopped down to 8 and 60 at 63. 60 will still get one. Brings it down to only a man advantage for Mythic, but it looks like that second could be becoming a reality.
Counter boost possible here. Try and get a peek on towards the B side. Cooper may be exposed over top of the smoke, but he reads it well. 60 knocked down and chops 8 HP. A non sequitur for the rest of this round. And Mythic should end this half with 2 straight victories. A 10-2 disadvantage, though, is such a tall mountain to overcome. Olympus Mons, which far exceeds any mountain on our terrestrial rock. But if they could do it, that would be beyond incredible. Marsborne, though, I don't think are prone to letting that happen. And for Chop, I just want to go stop delaying the inevitable and get us on to the second half. Is he going to get a free bomb plant out of it? He's going to get a free bomb plant, isn't he?
Bomb has been planted.
Sometimes you gotta pray for a victory. Yeah, I'm overzealous when I'm thinking about the cash flow. I never had no handouts, just came natural. I've been tested so much, all these wrestlers nice. All these different situations that I've been through. I seen pain trying to creep in through the window, but now I'm sliding through the hood in a Benzo. You gotta separate yourself just to elevate. I keep some drink in my cup to see through the hate. Sometimes on the road to glory, you gotta press the brakes. I got a lesson plan for all my past mistakes. I swear I'm proud of all my best and my worst days. Proud of all my feet when I touch the ground. Front of 8 at Beijing, man, they know the sound. I know I made mistakes, but my mama proud. Fans scream my lyrics out in the background. They ain't know me then, but I'm hot now. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. Life down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. When you down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. I'm faced with a lot of different choices these days. Do a rock and Rolex account of Blueface. The whole world know my name off a mixtape. I still got the same brothers since 6th grade. G-Wagon red seats, we on Biscayne. Trips to the Florida Keys, we imported these. Thanking God for the life he afforded me. All this jewelry on my body, acting like the hood. I need a brown skinned chick just like Megan Good. Holding up every promise that I ever made. Music in the background, it's a serenade. Been rapping 10 years, boy, this ain't a phase. I paid dues, paid rent, and I stayed the same. I had teardrops running down my face. I've been through a lot, I had real pain. But thank God, cause we really on a better days. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. Life down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. When you down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. What's a life without sacrifice? Sometimes you gotta thank God and just roll the dice.
All right, we're back here. Second half of action. Marsborne have a crazy lead. They only need 3 more rounds on their CT side of Overpass to end this series and advance forward in the lower bracket. See if they can do it. Mythic will need a crazy resurgence. They'll have to start here in the pistol.
Well, Marsborne's been all over the pistol rounds the last 3 of them, so it's going to be a lot for Mythic to try and overcome. Chop in the pit, lines up the first headshot, peeks a second, and takes another one down. Goes for 3, it's 60 to get it. But the pistols are clicking. Owen Alone and Flom, though, bringing this to a winnable 3 versus 2, still favoring Marsborne. Grizz and 60. 60 in the pit is the key part of this defense, and Owen Alone destroys him. Grizz now drops into that same position. The bomb not yet down. They can't really afford to go for the plant yet, Mythic, as they have to clean up the players they know are on site. But both Viz and Grizz are up the bridge. Viz with one more. It's up to Flom, and he goes down. It's Grizz around the corner, and Marsborne 2 away from eliminating Mythic in this final of the ECL Season 50 Cups.
I actually really loved the way they played that, right? They faked that they were going back into the pit, and Mythic bite it, hook, line, and sinker, move into pit, and as they go up there, they're down there, I should say, they realize, uh-oh, Marsborne are on the other side towards the bomb site, and they've got the high ground now. So very well done from Marsborne to find themselves in 11th, and Mythic do not secure the pistol round that they so desperately needed. Now it'll be down to a 4 spy here. Nade's going to sail in. That's going to do a lot of damage. Yep, here come the bullets. And oh, no frags for Grizz, but 3 players down to half health. Should be easy cleans for the rest of Marsborne if they can connect the shots. And so far, no dice. Flom charging through. Great flashbang toss, but Viz has somehow slipped past it. Truck Lover before that did take down another piece. So a 3v2 advantage for Mythic here in the post plant. Viz and Wolfie, their time to shine, and Viz will not be able to answer the call. Wolfie, the last one available, grabs a smoke and may just bide his time and throw that smoke onto the bomb for a late defusal, or just save the FAMAS, which feels like that's the call he's making.
Well, he might not even be allowed to save as he's being hounded on by two different angles, and it will be Pone alone coming through the side one. That will take him down. Wolfie only able to get one for his trouble, although Flom does fall as well to the bomb. It's all a little bit of semantics here and there, a little bit of, oh yeah, he got more economic damage. Mythic can't afford to lose a round. So economic damage is out the window entirely. They have to get this, they have 1 round for margin for error. They're down by 8 now. It's all about becoming a wagon and just rolling downhill. And Marsborne are going to try and stop this with a couple of scouts, 5.7s, and a P250.
Oh.
Armor on the pistols. And a tag 'em and bag 'em might just be what they need, although it's not a very likely round to win. They were in a double eco scenario anyway, so might as well do what they can with these guns and give it a good shot. Maybe a little bit more of the old college try. We'll see. If they can upgrade to a couple of rifles, things will turn, and probably for the worst for Mythic's sake. And Viz at least gets 1 tag done, so that's something.
Yeah, I mean, a bit of a knife there to Flom's back by Pone alone at the beginning of the round, so that's not helping matters. But that being said, Mythic still have the firepower advantage and the man edge here. Wolfie could get spotted by Pone alone if he's not careful with the way he peeks towards bathrooms here. He's going to back off. Reinforcements have arrived. Marsborne got the pieces here. Cooper spots out Grizz going to Dice, and, well, he'll take care of Chop as well. This should be a relatively clean round for Mythic as they move in, but Wolfie, gets one. A second from Grizz, but they're just not able to keep the bodies up at this stage, and it'll only be 60 available, and he eventually falls by the wayside too. Mythic stringing a little bit together here after winning the force buy and now the follow-up.
This will be the full eco now for Marsborne, allowing Mythic to claw 1 more round closer to tying this up and either taking this in regulation or shipping us to overtime. Got the nade for 60. That's it. Do some damage, death ball out, and they'll run into a couple of players. Flom's got a counter to this, though. His grenade does a little bit of damage. Mac 10 will do more, but he only gets 1 kill. And Pone alone has to retreat from the onslaught of players flying his direction. 1 more before he'll drop flames as cover. And 60 tests the fire, burns his toe, and backs away. Truck, though, up con, takes a dink, is still around to fight. Yeah, needs to bail. Cannot get caught out. Don't give a free AK over to Marsborne. The Mac 10's one thing. The AK, though, don't lose that. Looks like it'll end the way it should, though, with Mythic taking the round. 60 and Wolfie just hunting for 1 more kill, hunting for an upgrade. They'll find their way into a choke point. 60, gun down, leaving Wolfie stuck at the bottom of the ladder. And he will not be killed with the Mac 10. Small consolation there. And now we're only 6 rounds apart between these two teams, and Mythic have equaled their tally on the prior map.
There we go. Didn't think it was going to happen with the way this one started. Being 10-0 in favor of Marsborne. But 5 of the last 6 going Mythic's way. Now, though, the op is out in Wolfie's hands. And that is a dangerous customer on overpass. With the big green. 3 A1Ss in the M4 round at the buy. Mythic do have enough money to absorb a round loss here. They just don't really have the rounds to really back them up if they should lose. Although, there goes Pone alone. Well, he doesn't win the fight, does it? Just realized 60's the one who take care of him. 5v4 in favor of Marsborne. Flom has made his way through connector and could actually strike here onto Viz. If Viz is not careful, he's wary of something, and I think he saw the shadow. He did. Viz takes care of that. 5v3 in favor of Marsborne. Mythic continue to try and take ground here towards A, but it feels like all of their approaches are really individual. There isn't much cohesion to this approach.
No, that's the difference when you look at Marsborne. Everything had a piece to it, as Viz will win the 1-versus-1 against Cooper. There were team flashes, coordinated peaks. There was a game plan to the pushes. It wasn't an isolated incident as, again, we see Heiza just walk out short. There was no real end goal, no coordination, no game plan for Mythic, and they get stopped 1-versus-1 in the duels. I mean, every so often, yeah, you have to win some duels to win a round. I mean, you're not going to win a game of Counter-Strike without getting kills. It's like saying you're going to win a hockey game without scoring a goal. You have to score. But there has to be something more to the overall game plan. You're not going to rely on a breakaway to score your goal every single time. There has to be something that starts in a battle down low, a backdoor pass. Mythic's had none of that. It's just been going for stretch passes, home run plays, and trying to find a way in without any support.
Indeed. Yeah, Mythic, well, they're at the end of their rope. Need some really crazy heroics here to keep themselves in it. At least they're going to have AKs to fight it out with. Best opportunity at success here. Only a couple of pieces of utility missing. That's on Flom. Timeout expires. Marsborne wanted to talk things over there. Surprised they call it being up by this much, but I guess it hasn't necessarily trended in their direction lately, so I do understand it.
Somebody ran to the bathroom.
Really?
It could be that too.
Okay.
I think that's a little more likely than calling an actual timeout at this stage.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you meant in the round. Yeah, that makes sense. But anyway, Heiza's going to get spam through the smoke. Excuse me, spam through the wall onto 60. 5v4 in favor of Mythic, and now a 5v3. Marsborne need a frag in response, and there's one, but only one. Mythic trying to keep hope alive for themselves. Viz trying to rip that one away. He will get torn down himself by Pwn alone, but it is a 1v2 and a winnable one for Wolfie as he comes through with the AWP.
Walks on through the smoke. It's going to be a tight fight against the player in jungle. Spots out Pwn alone. I don't know if Pwn alone saw Wolfie up in heaven, but he's going to back away. There's no reason for either of these two to peek, and these are a pair of veteran players that are left alive. I think you could say Wolfie's a veteran at this point in his career too, but
Yeah.
does not have the same length of career as Flom or Pwn alone. So he's just going to go see what he can find and then back away. I think anyone's going to die to the bomb here. Both Flom and Pwn should be safe. Never mind, they both die. He got him with the smoke.
That's kind of crazy. Well done. Nice toss of the smoke. I mean, keeps them on the site. They think he's trying to get a defusal. And that one hurts a lot. He really pulled the rug out from under them there. And while they will get 4 AKs up, could have been 5. Instead, Flom has to settle for the Mac 10. Ay, ay, ay. In the meantime, Marsborne, they have the op saved over from Wolfie. 3 A1Ss and the FAMAS. So a better buy-up overall in terms of the firepower. Marsborne are looking to end it here now.
They'd like to end it here. Mythic would very much like to extend it. But Wolfie gets the opener with the op, and he goes back for more. Double dipping, he's cut from behind. As Cooper will spray him down. A site control now available to Mythic as the rotation is a little late from 60. He's out at Optimus, popping through smoke. Takes a couple of fights and loses them without getting a single kill. 60 his kill finished off by Grizz, as Cooper is still low around the dice boxes. Viz moving through as well. Grizz falls. Viz there for the trade. And it's a 2 versus 2, but the bomb is working its way down towards Chop on B. Good rotation out by Mythic. They drew the players up from Marsborne, but Chop is in a decent
Oh, that's not a good smoke.
Smoke is not good at all, and Flom drops right into the waiting arms of Chop. That was supposed to be heaven smoke that Chop will just take advantage of. Heiza does know where he is. It's a 1 versus 2, and Viz is low at 45 HP.
The thing is, Chop's going to wait for Viz, right?
Oh, yeah.
And they'll be able to pincer in from both short and walk away.
There's even a smoke here.
Yeah. They're like, I imagine Viz is going to just check pit here. Yeah, okay. But Heiza wins the duel. Chop, last one available, and Heiza will extend this one even further. 7th round for Mythic, who refuse to say die.
It's not in their vocabulary. It's not in their dictionary. I just flipped through it. Couldn't find it. Or a synonym, for that matter. Maybe I'll have to find the Mythic Thesaurus. But as it stands, Mythic continue to find ways to stay alive. They find ways to win rounds. And this time it's the individual effort of Heiza, who over doubles his kills in that one round.
I was going to say exactly that. Insane. Like, he had 0 impact up to that point. He's like, all right, let's go. Okay. Hone alone caught off. 60. Doesn't grab the gun. Yeah. I think he's just too worried about someone else being there, so he decides that his life's more important than grabbing that gun.
Flom
Would this be the one?
Well, Grizz is going to get the gun as Cooper gets cut down by Chop. A couple 2 taps to the P250. And Grizz now takes the AK and beheads Heiza. This might be it. This might be the round that dispels the Mythic magic in this cup. Oh, man.
I can't believe it.
That would be something. There's no way Truck's ready for the gun either. Grizz got the spam! It's all up to Truck, and he's caught by Grizz! It's Marsborne who take it on the pistol round. The half investment. And of all the rounds to lose for Mythic, that one has to sting the most.
Definitely. And I mean, you know, especially after getting that clutch from Heiza, you're like, okay, finally Heiza has been able to activate. We have an advantage. They're not going to have the greatest of buy-ups. And then Marsborne are indeed able to take care of business with just the pistols available. Grizz doing some phenomenal work. And you saw there, you know, looking back to Nuke, what led to Mythic taking that map and giving them a chance at, you know, finding this series. But Inferno was exceptionally clean from Marsborne, especially towards the end. I mean, there were some struggles. You know, you said it, not exactly a perfect map, but towards the end felt like it was leading into what Overpass became, which was a complete blowout at the beginning of it before Mythic made that little resurgence, but at the end of it, it's too tall of a hill for them to overcome.
Yeah, Marsborne, they did their job once they woke up from their stupor and their slumber. They got back into business. They played a good game of Team Counter-Strike. Things fell apart a little bit on the tail end of Overpass. You can see them get a little more disjointed, a little